And away we go. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you happen to be in the world today. Welcome, one and all, to Coffee Talk. It is time once again for Coffee Talk Live, where we will be having some discussion about what is going on in the world today. We'll take a look at some clips from the news and share a little bit of dialogue with those of you who are able to join us for the live portion. And if you are listening anywhere else and you wanted to join the live portion, you can find us Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, on Coffee Talk and Prepper University. That is at Coffee Talk Live and at Prepper University. You can find me on X at Coffee Talk Chat. You can find me on fistfulofradio.com, podcasting out of Atlanta. And you can find me on Rumble, and that would be Coffee Talk 2 with the number 2. As we get ready to get rolling here today, I've got Miss Kitty sleeping in the chair behind me, keeping me company because why not? Because why not? And I will go ahead and say hello to some of the people that have chimed in on the live portion, because I do try to keep up with comments as is reasonable. I see Tuck has joined us today, as well as Helter, Brian, Caps, Dragon, JJ, Jeff, and Dan, who says I'm 5x5. Good. I hope you can hear me clearly. There have been issues off and on in the past, and it can be discouraging. It can be discouraging. D-Lo is here. Glad you could make it today. And hello to everyone else who either cannot or chooses not to chime in. Hope you're doing well today as we get ready to get rolling. It is Tuesday only already. And I see Kimberly is here, as well as Tinkering, who says that I am clear. I am clear. That's good. That's good. Puck says, to answer the question, no deal. Zelensky made a deal with Stommer to put UK troops and aircraft in Ukraine when a ceasefire is signed. Yeah, deal or no deal. And that is, of course, the thumbnail. Deal or no deal with Putin. And it's going to be very, very difficult to iron anything out with that, because really all Zelensky has to do is go run into somebody else and cry on their shoulder and see what he can get out of it. And right now, he can't milk the U.S. anymore, so he's sticking it to the U.K. and not the U.K. specifically, but sticking it to the EU rather, and Canada, and they're soaking up his little tears and changing his diaper. So yeah, if they would not pander to that, then the U.S., then the Ukraine war would be backing off right now. They'd be closing that out. But I wanted to start off. Yesterday, there was something I was talking about, and I couldn't open the article up all the way because it was trying to force me to join their news service, and I'm not going to do that. But I wanted to get back to this article, and that is the school in Virginia, the school district in Virginia, and the whole A is for abortion scandal. Puck suggests there will be no ceasefire that allows NATO troops in the Ukraine. Ain't gonna happen. Yeah, anything they can do to try to maintain NATO's relevancy, because it ceased to be relevant when the Berlin Wall came down. But they've been hanging on. And Kimberly said, good, let somebody else pay for it. That's why he pitched such a fit when he came to meet with Trump and Vance. No more gravy train, at least not coming from the United States. But here we are, Fox News article. Take another crack at this because we couldn't read it yesterday. Virginia school puts up controversial ABCs display on Women's History Month, starting with A is for abortion. Oh my God. A public school in Fairfax County, Virginia, decorated its history hallway with a polarizing alphabetic display for Women's History Month, beginning with A is for abortion. Aha, because Lord knows for how many eons we've been on this planet, that's been the goal of every woman. Yes. West Springfield High School lined the hallway with a display for each letter of the alphabet representing what school officials believed are important aspects of women's history. The school told Fox News's Laura Ingram that the ABC's To Me display is a student-led history project, then nothing in any elementary school is student-led. You can hang that right up. It's all cookie cutter bullshit. Remember, I used to work with these schools. Nothing is actually student-led. I hate when they try to imply that. And what I mean by cookie cutter is, when you go to daycare, your kid goes to daycare and your kid comes home with like a macaroni portrait or like some kind of cutout doll or whatever the hell stupid little project they do, making a face on a paper plate. Everybody does that. But unless you're in a Montessori style environment where the children are required to watch and emulate, what actually happens is the teacher goes around and tells each student what to do, or even literally does it for them to make it look better to present to the parents rather than allow the child to actually learn through trial and error. And that's referred to as a cookie cutter method. And they actually teach this method to you. I took a 3-hour semester course. 3-credit hour course, I should say, in college as part of my early childhood development degree, learning how to do that because it was a requirement. So no kid is nothing in any school like this is student led. That is a lie. That is an absolute lie. I know I went down a bunny trail with that, but we'll get back to the article. West Springfield High School lined the hallways with a display for each letter of the alphabet representing what school officials believed are important aspects of women's history. The school told Fox News, okay, yeah, I read that. ABCs to me display student-led, which is a lie. The A is for abortion section of that display featured an image of a coat hanger and a positive pregnancy test, as well as a description of that project. Isn't that cute? According to the project description, the display is for Women's History Month, and the Women's History classes, quote, celebrating and bringing awareness to what it means to be a young woman today at West Springfield High School and in the world. Oh, this is a high school. I see. Still, I didn't realize it was a high school. I thought it was earlier. Oh my God. What it means to be a young woman. Let me go out and get pregnant so I can get rid of it. Perfect. A wasn't the only letter that turned heads. Okay. With former Vice President Kamala Harris being the focal point of H is for Hope display. H is for Hope featuring Kamala Harris. On J is for Justice. Students were shown images of the United States statue, or the Statue of Liberty, holding the female sign instead of the torch. And she was surrounded by transgender, Ukrainian, and Palestinian flags. Wow. Let me catch up a couple of comments. All people said, do you have any information on Epstein victim Virginia Roberts Guffrey being reported to have been hit by a bus? No, I did not hear that. JJ said, what did they say B is for? Yeah, I can imagine. And Monkey is here. And Rodney is here. He says, if possible, homeschool your children. Absolutely. Modern schooling is nothing but indoctrination in the Western nations. Puck says they added learning your ABCs to your LBGTs. Yes. And Jericho is here. He says, hell freaking no. Unfortunately, hell freaking yes. And then the Statue of Liberty surrounded by Ukrainian, Palestinian, and gay flags while holding the female symbol with the Ankh from, not the Ankh, because Ankh means life. And then there's a male and a female hieroglyph. So holding the female hieroglyph, we should say. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Which, all of that under the current executive administration violates the policies which could cost that school all of its federal funding because schools are not supposed to be doing this anymore. It's an executive order at this point. Prominent female Democratic Party members such as Kamala Harris, Representative AOC, and Michelle Obama were featured under L is for Leadership. ABC's To Me display had a spot reserved for men, seemingly criticizing them for M is for mansplaining, a reference to the derogatory term for a man explaining something to a woman in a condescending manner. Oh, crap. Oh, no. Sven says if our society is weak, our country will be conquered and a stronger nation will be bred. Hopefully. All people said the idea of back alleys using coat hangers for those services has been proven to be a myth created by the abortion industrial complex. I never heard of them using a coat hanger. I've never heard that actually happening. Jericho says off topic, he stopped using actual YouTube app. I do still watch from an ad blocking YouTube app. Cannot stand the ads. I know they help you, but I'm sure you understand. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Oh my God. Oh, incredible. Puck said Miss Big Mike should be under T for Transformers. Brian wants to know if the feminist living alone with 12 cats stereotype is really true. That I'm not sure about. But I have seen a lot of cat hoarders. Cat hoarder is because we do our thing with the shelter, but our situation is very clean and very organized. Cat hoarder would be someone that it's gotten out of control and the cats just pee and crap everywhere and they tear the hell out of everything and the environment is toxic and the whole all around the property reeks of ammonia. Kimberly said these people's cheese is slid off the cracker, and Peter said because women are never condescending. I wish my wife was here today to hear this one because you probably do want to hear her go off on her tangent about how most women are evil. I'm not kidding. Oh my God. 2 letters of this alphabet were declared for the LGB community, as in Q is for queer and T is for transmogrified woman, were shown on the display with a transgender flag inside of a circle of the female symbol being the image featured for T. The mother of a male student attending West Springfield High School spoke with the Ingram Angle on March 18th, sharing the story of one of the students at the high school who allegedly ripped down the A's for abortion display. Quote, I just found out a mom called me and she told me your son had actually ripped down the A's for abortion sign. He was upset and he was brought into the principal's office and they counseled him and they said, you had such a visceral reaction. I think it's absurd. I mean, how could you not have an emotive reaction to this, even if the adults do? I'm proud of the students who are stepping up and saying this isn't right. This isn't the kind of school we want to be in. It's indoctrination. It's not education. Yeah, but your kid is still going there. And you still have your children in public school. And again, I know a lot of people feel helpless. I think most parents, they feel helpless. They either feel helpless or they don't care. I think more don't care than feel helpless, to be honest. I'm a little jaded on that, and you know why. It's because of my own personal and professional experiences. That most parents, they don't really give a shit. But others do care, and they're helpless. They don't know what to do because they don't know there are resources out there that would help them. You're not smart enough to homeschool? Trust me, that community will help you just to get that kid out of there because they hate it. They hate that system, and they will help you as a way of fighting it. People, and again, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but man, you got kids in public school, get them the hell out. Get them out. Incredible Caps says this sounds like something that schools would do, which is the reason you should homeschool your kids if at all possible. Yeah. Yeah, homeschool is a first option. Private school is a second option. Public shouldn't even be an option. JJ wants my wife to make a guest appearance again. She's funny and informed. She's a joy. She's a joy. I love her to pieces. But yeah, she's at work right now, and she was just home early yesterday, and wanted to jump in, and that's perfectly fine with me. But yeah, if she's able to do it again, I'm sure she would. But yeah, I mean, she will go on her soapbox about that women are inherently evil. She's like, they're encouraged to be evil by society. But she'll go on and on about that. She doesn't like a lot of females. Sven says there are really good homeschool co-ops. That is true. But that school, it doesn't say it in the article, but because of the current executive orders that came out of the Trump administration and the executive branch, that school potentially could lose its federal funding because of that. It violates the current executive orders. Under Biden, they would have gotten a bonus. But like this, yeah, I think they're in trouble. Raccoon has joined us. Glad you could make it today. As we move on to the story associated with the thumbnail. And this is a Daily Express article. Russia issues major update on Trump's peace deal as new Ukraine plan emerges. Okay, what is it? Russia says it cannot accept the ceasefire proposal brokered by the United States in the Ukraine war amid President Trump's growing exasperation. We take the models and solutions proposed by the Americans very seriously, but we cannot accept it all in its current form, according to Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Rybakov. According to Rybakov, Moscow wants Washington to consider what it calls the root cause of the conflict. Oh, okay, more quotes. As far as we can see, there is no place in them today for our main demand, namely, to solve the problems related to the root cause of this conflict. It is completely absent, and that must be overcome. Okay. Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, leading to 3 years of deadly fighting. We know this. Trump rebuked Russian President Putin on Sunday for not cooperating to put an end to the war, a promise he had made on his campaign trail. Well, he has been working on it. While he said that they were making progress, he threatened to add more sanctions on Russia to pressure them to accept the ceasefire deal. I'm sure Russia doesn't care about sanctions because they're mostly self-sufficient. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha said Tuesday that the two nations had been consulting with each other over the latest version of the mineral deal. The Kremlin has, however, refused the U.S. proposal for an immediate 30-day ceasefire, violating Trump's conversation. Instead, Putin ordered the largest conscription drive to recruit more soldiers since he started the war in Ukraine nearly 3 years ago. He ordered 160,000 Russian men between the ages of 18 and 30 to be called up. The new order needs to be completed by July 15th. Interesting. In September, Putin signed a decree to grow the army by 180,000 due to alleged threats posing the Russian border, despite the Russian military suffering the largest losses since World War II. I don't know if that's true. I would have to see data on their actual numbers if you could even trust that. If you could even trust those numbers. Peter says, we are in a small town, yet have a great homeschool community. That's excellent. There are support groups out there. People need to look into it more. That is true. And Raccoon likes the accent. I try. Peter said USA invaded Ukraine in 2014. And Marvel fan is here. He said the accent gave me flashbacks of John Wick, the John Wick film. That's right. What do you mean you killed his dog? John Wick? Yeah. Let me catch up here. Cap said, and also I'm thinking about it. Can you make a series of videos talking about the schools and the education system? I think I've done a few videos on it before if they're still up, because you know how ScrewTube is. They take down stuff without telling me anything. But yeah, I've talked about it off and on, but I could do it again if I have time. Because it's just just an untrustworthy system, and it's been collapsing for decades. It's a shame. And League of Smoke has joined us. And Rodney says ScrewTube is hiding his comments again. They can't be that bad. They can't be that bad, your comments. It's amazing how their bots do that, and how much they mess with everybody. How much they mess with everybody. So according to this, we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. More quotes. According to our intelligence, Russia is preparing for new offenses in Sumy, Kharkiv, and Zaporizhzhia regions. According to Zelensky, they are dragging our negotiations and trying to drag the U.S. into endless, meaningless discussions about fake conditions to buy time, and then to try to seize even more land. Okay. And that's what he's going to go crying to the UK about. Or not the UK, the UN. I keep saying UK. They go crying to the UN and the EU so that they can get even more money to perpetuate it even further. Rodney says the EU can pay with lives and treasure if they want endless war. The rest of us don't want it. Yeah, the rest of us don't want it. Marvel fan says it feels like Firefox with Clint Eastwood. You have to think in Russian. And then he speaks, so it's voice activated. It's not thought activated. Speak in Russian. Firefox. One of the little known Eastwood films. Eastwood was in a lot of good films. He could pick them. He was in a lot of good films. And Guardian Prepping says, keep your ears to the ground, folks. I know. Or ear to the rail. That's another one. Keep your ear to the rail. What is this? Oh, yes. Because you know universities are getting defunded. And I find this fascinating how much public money, how much tax money is going to these universities. Do you know Harvard University is on the hook for like $8.7 billion in tax funding? $8.7 billion going to Harvard. Why do they need that much of your money? Yeah, it's part of the problem. I know we're not talking about Harvard here. I'm going to pull up a different article, but it just, I had read that this morning. And I'm like, why do they need that much taxpayer money? Plus donations, plus the money that they take from students. And you wonder why the kids aren't learning anymore. We read an article last year from a Harvard professor that's throwing his hands up because he's been there for like 30, 40 years. And he's like, the modern kids, they can't get through a book. They can't read a textbook anymore. They're graduating unable to really complete the courses. That's what happens when you take money from everywhere to keep pushing things along in your system without any kind of meritocracy. These kids aren't earning their way, either pass or fail. It used to be the college would throw you out if you sucked, and you either learned your lesson or you didn't. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. But this article is actually about Columbia University. And this is like the biggest virtue signal I've seen in a heartbeat here. I just wanted to share this. Virtue signal extravaganza coming right up. Peter said Scott Eastwood is underrated and should be in a lot more. And Sven said no one would need to pay any tuition. You would think, but somehow that money gets spent, right? Fox News article, Columbia grads shred diplomas over Muhammad Khalil's arrest. We are enraged. And I'll play that. I'll try to run that video clip here in a moment. Let me pause it because this is just the fakest. I'll tell you why. Columbia University students and graduates gathered over the weekend to protest the school's recent acquiescence to the Trump administration's demands to combat anti-Semitism at the school and the arrest of Muhammad Khalil, a pro-Palestinian ringleader on their campus. During the protest, several graduate students from the School of International and Public Affairs shredded their diplomas. SIPA and Columbia are working against the incredible efforts their students are making to envision a world where Palestinians can enjoy their full human, civil, and national rights. Oh my God. One of the protesters said before tearing her diploma in half, SIPA is not proud. We are enraged. We will continue to rage at this institution until Muhammad Khalil is free. Yeah, he's in jail for a reason, sweetheart, okay? Puck says enraged students should be deported next. Guardian said tensions everywhere at an all-time high, and all people said Harvard has become nothing more than an elitist, globalist indoctrination institution. And Brian doesn't like Columbia University. I'm gonna play this, and I'm gonna try to play this video clip, and then I'm gonna explain why this is such a load. Okay, these people are so full of crap. Hold on a second.
Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Free Mahmoud Khalil! Free Mahmoud Khalil! Free, free, free Mahmoud Khalil! Free, free Palestine!
Okay, that's enough because that's just they don't even know how to protest well. And you saw they didn't shred their diplomas, they tore them. Now, here's the trick. This is what most people are going to say. All right. They're going to say, well, those diplomas probably aren't worth anything anyway, right? That's the first thing that comes to mind. Raccoon says losers. I know. All right. Here's the thing. You go to the student administrator's office, you can get a copy of that diploma. You get all the copies you want. If I needed a copy of my diploma, if I lost it or I wanted a second or a third one, all I have to do is contact the school and they'll mail it to me. How do I know that's the only copy and that they don't have or aren't going to go get another one? This is pure virtue signaling, and it doesn't mean a damn thing. Doesn't mean a damn thing. You want to free Palestine? Why don't you go there? Why don't you go there? A dozen women tearing up worthless diplomas that they probably have copies of. I am not impressed at all. I am not impressed at all. Puck said Wisconsin election is today, could give the majority to the Democrats in the House. Get ready for more impeachments. Oh, no. Paul says you've seen nothing yet. With protests, they've just been waiting for warmer weather and will make the mostly peaceful protests of 2020 look like a hippie protest. Yeah, they don't have the wherewithal to do something like that in the cold. Remember, we read that last year. There was going to be a protest at the White House, but they decided it was too cold and canceled it. Incredible. And JJ says, can you zoom in on what college she graduated from? I'm betting it's a worthless degree. It's Columbia University. These are Columbia University graduates. You can see Columbia right there. Master of, oh, I can't see it. Hold on. Maybe I can I can catch it on there just before she tears it. Margarita Bates, Master of International Affairs. She has a master's degree in international affairs, according to that document. I'm reading it. Brian says bending over for something they don't really care about or don't even know anything about. Correct. All people said that. There goes their copy of proof of being trained in basket weaving and gender whining. Peter said free speech is absolute, even if I don't agree with them. Yeah, I mean, they could stand up there and tear the diplomas up, but I don't think they really are doing or proving anything. They're virtue signaling. They're patting themselves on the back. They're making a demonstration that's phony. Because tearing that piece of paper doesn't mean anything. Again, they could turn right around and go to the college administration office and get another one printed right off. And if they don't have it available, they'll mail it to them. They just have to pay the fee. It's not that much. It's not that much. I mean, it's again, virtue signaling at its finest. This is like when members of Congress wore kente cloths and took a knee while social distancing with their masks on. You remember that? When they wore a kente cloth and took a knee in Congress, some of them couldn't get up. Some of those old dinosaurs got rickety bones. Yeah, and Tuck said they could also have a copy printed just to serve as a protest prop. That's true. I mean, that might not even be an official copy for all we know. Someone could have had a really good copy machine and they printed those off and they tore up the fakes. That might not even be an official school copy. Puck said they got that from John Kerry throwing his medals over the White House fence. Yeah, you can replace those. You can replace those. That's not really a sacrifice. It's not really a sacrifice. And it's ridiculous to ask for somebody who's been put in jail to be freed. What's he in jail for? I don't know. It ain't pretty, though. Yeah, it's because he incited riots on student campuses. But while we're talking about offenses that you could go to jail for, things you could go to jail for, here's a good one. And those people that you just saw fit right in with this absolutely perfectly. And this is going to be a USA Today article coming up. USA Today article. Anytime now, StreamYard. Give me a break here. Give me a break here. Marvel fan says the kids are bored and think they are part of something. You ask any of them, they don't even know what they're protesting. They think they know, but they can't really fully explain it. USA Today. Musk says terrorism is behind fire at Rome Tesla dealership. That's right. Look at that. What a mess. So this is March 31st. It's yesterday. An overnight fire at Tesla dealership in Rome that destroyed 17 cars was an act of terrorism, according to the company's owner, Elon Musk. Italy's special police unit, Digos, is leading an investigation looking into the possibility that anarchists set fire to the cars on the eastern outskirts of the Italian capital. So this is not just happening in the United States. Tesla cars have become targets for vandalism across several countries in response to Musk's right-wing activism. Musk isn't doing anything in Italy. Look at these stupid people. And I'll open up the video clip. I'm going to open up this video clip and you can see it. And they've got these people on film. They've got these people on film. I mean, how stupid can you get? No audio, but here, let's run the clip. There's the guy. There's the guy. And he's going to set the cars on fire. Okay. How stupid are you? You're under surveillance. Almost everybody who's vandalized a Tesla so far has been caught. They have wraparound security cameras. The cameras on these vehicles, never mind the cameras in the facility, they'll find these people. They'll find these people, and what do you think is going to happen to them? And this is in Italy. You're in Italy protesting what Elon Musk is doing in the United States. Why don't you worry about what's happening in Italy? Because your country's being ripped to shreds by the constant influx of migrants. Your country is being ripped to pieces. And you're protesting Elon Musk, and he's not even there. He's not even there. He's got nothing to do with you, except that, okay, there's a Tesla dealership there. So what? There's auto dealerships from all types of automakers all over the planet. We put that up from all people there. I mean, how stupid are you? And it's a rhetorical question, because you already know how I feel about that. Most people are not very, see, they got them. Got them already. Look at this. Stupid. Oh, no. There he is. Have you seen this man? Rodney said the so-called protests at Tesla dealerships are well-funded and organized by people who are quite angry at Musk unveiling their grift. Also, another one that I saw, I don't have it pulled up, but I was looking at it yesterday, actually. And these guys, they bought like dozens of little Tesla model cars, from like Walmart or whatever. And they were smashing them on the ground with hammers in protest. It's like, jackass, you bought them all. You bought all these toys so you could break them on a video to protest Musk. Okay. Walmart made their money. Moron. Oh my gosh. JJ said, now that their belief in climate change has been shown as false through their actions, what's next for these ass clowns? Who knows? They still believe the climate change stuff, though, so it's going to be a while. They still believe it. Armored says Hungary is one of the few sane European countries left. That's sad. That's sad. Marvel says at least those are all insured. It actually helps in a way. Well, not really, because the more insurance has to pay out, the higher the premiums get. And that affects everybody. That affects everybody. All people said no matter how many Teslas are ruined, the insurance companies will pay for them. Then everyone's insurance rates increase. There you go. That's what I was just saying. That's what I was just saying. Monkeys thinks that guy looks Vietnamese. Yeah, he looks stupid. Hey, he looks progressive. The picture on the right looks very progressive to me. Like one of those kind of guys. But there you are. There you are. And while we're on the subject, while we're talking about Musk, we may as well jump to the EPA, because the EPA's made another small discovery while they were cooperating with Doge. I thought this was very interesting, and I wonder about these sorts of things sometimes, because you see them everywhere. This is a Tampa Free Press article. EPA shuts down $4 million one-room Biden-era museum, citing waste and political agenda. U.S. Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Lee Zeldin announced Monday the closure of a controversial one-room EPA museum at agency headquarters in Washington, D.C., calling it an example of wasteful spending under the Biden administration. The museum, which cost $4 million in taxpayer dollars to build and an additional $600,000 a year to maintain, has received less than 2,000 visitors in the last 2 years, or a year and a half, he says, from 2024 till now. Internal figures also revealed that more than 40% of the visitors were EPA staff members that were sent there. I love it. That's like in the military when they ask for volunteers to go to the show, or a politician comes and they in the army, and they're like, okay, we need 200 people to sit in the arena so Senator Bullshit can talk. You're going, you're going, you're going, you're going. And it's like that. The EPA, other government agencies pull that shit too. And so 40% of the people that went to this museum were forced to go by the EPA, which means that actually technically only 1,200 people visited it since it was built. 600,000 a year, and it's a room. Literally, it is one room. 600,000 a year to build, and or 600,000 a year to maintain, and $4 million to construct. Quote, our commitment to responsible stewardship of taxpayer dollars remains unwavering. The museum is yet another example of waste by the Biden administration that could have instead been spent on remediating environmental issues in forgotten communities. According to Zeldin, the museum's content heavily emphasized environmental justice while omitting key environmental progress made during President Trump's first term, including improving air quality in the first nationwide PFAS action plan. I mean, that's something that nobody gives a shit about. It's a room with pictures in it. He's standing in it. This is all it is. Let me open that up. That's all it is. What a total waste. Puck says Gutfeld showed the video of those nuts busting up Matchbox cars. That is crazy. Rodney says, even if you accept that anthropomorphic climate change is real, leftists have never actually done anything to improve environment. I've seen far more conservatives planting trees than lefties. JJ said, is the bicycle that Biden fell off in the museum? No. No. Monkey says, good old voluntold method. Yeah, voluntold. You've been voluntold. Monkey said, making it sound like a volunteer option, but really it's an order. Correct. And they do a lot of that crap in the military. If anybody who's been in the military, you know what I'm talking about. When you have to go. When they put on a show and you've got to show up, they're going to have a party and you better be there. Like I said, Senator Asswipe is coming, and yeah, he needs an audience. So unless you're on a special detail, you will be present, sort of a thing. And then it looks good on camera. Oh, there's 500 soldiers standing there. Yeah, they made them do it. Most people don't realize that. But this is a waste of taxpayer funding on a grand scale to maintain a room that nobody gives a shit about with probably inaccurate information that they could find on Wikipedia. That's your tax dollars at work, ladies and gentlemen. That's your tax dollars at work. Incredible. Where are we here? Hold on a second. Fluke Man says, so they go to the presentation and still get paid for it, like free tickets for cinema. Oh, you don't get paid. The people who are made to go are not compensated. They're not compensated. Yeah, Sven says mandatory fun. Guardian says we should be pivoting away from the potential chance for an all-out global conflict if by any chance Earth is the only intelligence anywhere in a nearby star system, our light is dying and it's very concerning. Yeah, people are killing it. People are killing it. Oh, yeah, I should probably save that one. Let me open up this one here about Trump and tariffs, because they're going into effect. Reciprocal tariffs, because again, what people don't realize is we were not charging tariffs on other countries, but they've been doing it to us. More than 170 countries charge tariffs against the United States, including some rather heavy-handed ones. Canada comes to mind because they charge a damn fortune. They charge a fortune. And here's a Bloomberg article. Trump's reciprocal tariffs set to start with all countries. President Trump said he plans to start his reciprocal tariff push with all countries, tamping down speculation that he could limit the initial scope of tariffs set to be unveiled April 2nd. That is tomorrow. You'd start with all countries, so let's see what happens, Trump told reporters aboard Air Force One. I haven't heard a rumor about 15 countries, 10 or 15. Trump is set to launch his so-called reciprocal tariffs on April 2nd, a centerpiece of his plan to rebalance global trade and boost U.S. manufacturing while collecting tariff payments to fund for domestic policy priorities, including an extension of tax cuts from his first administration and additional tax promises made during the campaign. The White House hasn't yet outlined what tariffs are coming, how they'll be calculated, or what countries will need to do to secure covered exemptions. Trump has also said his tariffs will account for other countries' non-tariff barriers, though he hasn't detailed how those calculations will be made. The administration also hasn't specified whether these new tariffs will take effect. We're going to be much nicer than they were to us, but it's substantial money for the country, according to Trump. And again, more than 170 countries imposed tariffs against the United States on importation, and we do not charge them. We have not been charging them, and that's Trump's point. If you're going to put them on us, we're going to put them on you. If you don't want us to do it, shut yours off. And it's causing Canada a lot of turmoil. Canada has insane tariffs. They were charging, again, as much as what, 230% on cheese coming from Wisconsin? But then we imposed 25%, and they want to lose their shit over it. All People says, is it true Disney's purchased most of the Snow White film tickets? I had heard they purchased and gave away tickets. I do not know how many. But that has been done by movie studios in the past. Tuck says, I remember someone telling me I hated the environment a few days after I had a tree service dump an entire truckload of material at my place so I could compost it. Monkey said Trump is setting out a light tariff of 25%, and all the other countries are freaking out. And theirs are much higher, trust me. JJ said the markets don't seem to be taking this news well. I'm sure they'll adjust in short order. They're going to be forced to adjust. They're not taking it well because they've been getting a free ride. They've been getting a free ride for a long time. Monkey said, meanwhile, those countries are putting in 60% or higher tariffs against the U.S. True. And, which was my point. They've been doing it to us for a long time. Many countries, again, I believe it's roughly 170 different countries have tariffs against the United States, and we do not reciprocate or have not been. And Trump looked at that and he was like, that doesn't make any sense. We need to fix that. Either shut it off and give us a break, or we'll do it to you. And again, that will bring, and it's already been demonstrated because there's already factories going up in the United States. Deals have been made, especially with automotive makers that are like, nah, if things are changing, we need to move the factory back to the United States. It's already bringing jobs back. Rodney says he's a big believer in tariffs, especially in a reciprocal manner. The Western nations have been hammered by tariffs levied against us. Time to bring it into balance. Yeah, either balance it out or don't do it. And that means nobody should be doing it. Everybody's crying about this, but few people truly understand what's going on here. And yeah, it's going to get wonky for a little while, and it's going to cause a little turmoil. It's going to churn the butter, as it were, until it settles down. And when it settles down, it should be a lot better. Yeah, Sven says investors are shorting. This is all a push to crash the economy on Trump. As we move along here, I got a New York Post article. I was saving this one because this is really stupid. And I think there's a commercial associated with it. Yeah, there is. There's an ad on this one, or they're showing an ad. They're showcasing an ad, and it's in New York. And this is absolutely hilarious. How the hypocrisy is hilarious. And again, they think everybody's stupid. And like I always say, I say it a million times, people are not that smart, but you don't have to treat them that way. New York Post article, tone deaf New York City activists attack gentrification while wearing $1,100 sweatshirt and cringy campaign videos. And I'll elaborate on that a little bit here in a moment. Let me try to play this ad for you. This is really bad. This is really bad, really stupid.
This is a gentrifier.
Hi, I am a YIMBY. Yes, in my backyard. Luxury condos, luxury condos, luxury condos, just luxury condos. We need many more luxury towers like this one so that eventually it will lower the cost of housing. One day, all of us will be able to live in luxury condos. You have to let your landlord evict you so he can tear down your building and build a luxury high-rise and increase housing supply.
YIMBYs are gentrifiers. If you don't want to be a gentrifier, here's someone you should support.
Chris Marte, the leading anti-displacement city council member who successfully stopped luxury towers. Developers and YIMBYs hate him. People love him.
New Yorkers, help Chris Marte win big in this upcoming election and say no to
That is a dude, by the way.
the agenda of big real estate.
Don't be a YIMBY. Vote Chris Marte.
Okay. Now, yeah, that's a really, really badly done ad. And it's really the reason the New York Post is making fun of it. And the thing that's really, the fact that it is really stupid and cringy, it is cringy. The hypocrisy in it is they're wearing extremely valuable luxury clothing. You're complaining you can't afford housing in New York while you're wearing a $2,500 jacket, an $1,800 sweater, and a $1,200 shirt. You see the problem? Oh my God. Brian says he just remembered it's April Fool's. Yeah, I never got that. You know, has anyone ever actually experienced in real life anything April Fool's related that wasn't on TV or in a movie? I never knew anyone to ever in my life attempt an April Fool's prank. I've seen it on TV, but in real life, never. Not even as a kid. Not as a kid, not in school. I don't think anyone in real life actually gives a damn about that. I mean, maybe someone else had a different experience. But yeah, I've only ever seen that on television. JJ says, I think I lost IQ points with that video. Yeah, no kidding. And Puck said the person on the right works for the CCP. Probably. Oh my God. Yeah. Again, it's the hypocrisy, and that's why the New York Post was calling them out on it, because they're like, hey, listen, you know, somebody actually sat there and went through the trouble of figuring out how much the designer clothing these kids are wearing in this commercial actually cost. You know, again, don't come to me in a $1,500 designer sweater telling me you can't afford housing. You are not managing your money well. That's the problem. Tuck said in a different setting, these dirtbags actually support tall multi-unit housing structures. I'm sure they do. And Tuck doesn't think they've ever experienced anybody's April Fool's either. So yeah, I've never seen that in real life. That's one of those things I've only ever seen on television. Or, you know, some prank on a website or something like that. But real people, no. Rodney says the video gave him dementia. Oh no. Fluke Man says not only have they have expensive clothing, they probably have student loans they have no interest in paying back. Yeah, very likely. Puck said Sports Illustrated did an April Fool's article about Sid Fitch back in the 80s, 168 mile an hour fastball. I don't remember that. But yeah, a magazine, that's an example. You have magazines, people in the media, but not actual people. Not actual people. As far as I know. But yeah, there you go. And again, like I said, that's a dude. So, that just makes it even weirder. But it's seriously, it's just ridiculous. Ridiculous, stupid commercial with goofy people trying to make a point. And Monkey said he's seen video games do a one-day April Fool's thing, but that's it. Okay. And Sven says, like AOC and the eat the rich thing. Yeah, she is the rich. Is she going to eat herself? Oh, my God. I mean, she falls into that category at this point. She's wealthy enough. AOC has mysteriously made millions of dollars from God knows where as a New York City or New York State representative. Like all these politicians with these questionable earnings. And I would love to see them investigated. I would love to see them get investigated to find out what the hell, where the hell that money came from. All people said AOC's dad was very well off, also true. But yeah, that whole eat the rich. I'll just eat the rich while you're wearing designer clothes. And again, that's just money mismanagement. Most people are not good stewards with their money. They invest all their income in like designer goods and fancy food because they think they deserve it. And it's like, okay, you can do whatever you want with your money, but don't act like somebody owes you something because you have bad spending habits. I do not need a $2,000 pair of sneakers. I don't need $2,000 jeans. I don't need a $1,000 t-shirt. Okay. I don't need tens of thousands of dollars worth of jewelry. I don't need a $200,000 car. I don't need any of that. But if you're keeping up with the Joneses and you feel entitled and you're accustomed to spending beyond your means and living off credit and living check to check, well, there you go. There you go. Rodney says those Democrats are going to be making a lot less money with Doge rooting out the fraud. I hope so. Caps Cap said that's the most stupidest political commercial I've ever seen. It's probably sponsored by the left, who produced the most stupidest political camp commercials ever. Well, you saw the guy they were campaigning for was surrounded by rainbow flags. I mean, he's got to be from the left. He's got to be from the far left. And in New York City, man, they love that right now. They love that right now. So there you go. And we'll take a quick look at the national debt clock and see where we are at. And currently, we are reading in with Doge projected savings at $268 billion. $268 billion in current savings. Projected savings. And future tariff tax revenue projection is at $658 billion. $658 billion. It's overwhelming with $36 trillion in debt. It's overwhelming. We have the highest debt in the entire world. And again, 11 trillion of it was added under the Biden administration. More than 11 trillion. I think it's like 11 and a half. 11.4, 11.5, something in there. in one administration. It's incredible. It's the highest, the most spending in history of the United States. And it's put us way over. There's no excuse for it. But with that, we are at the top of the hour. Oh, and Miss Kitty stayed asleep in the chair the entire time. Hey, little girl. So again, you are listening to and/or watching Coffee Talk, and you can find the live portion Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, on Coffee Talk, and on Prepper University. And people ask me how come I still cast on both channels. Actually, more people watch it on Prepper University than they do on Coffee Talk. So I may as well keep casting to both. There will be a new viewer hate mail going up on Coffee Talk, probably either later today or tomorrow. So watch out for that. You can find me on X at Coffee Talk Chat. You can find me on fistfulofradio.com, podcasting out of Atlanta. So again, thank you everybody for joining us here today. As always, hope you got something out of the conversation, and we will catch you again tomorrow.